floodwaters. Joining us now is Democratic Congressman from Florida, Jared Moskowitz. Congressman, great to have you here. You're a former director of emergency management in Florida. First of all, how are things in Florida where Hurricane Helene hit land?
Yeah, obviously we're better off in Florida than they are in North Carolina, but we still have areas in the Big Bend that have been hit very hard in Florida. Those people have been hit not just by Helene, but they were hit by, Adalia and Debbie in the last hurricane season. So that area, unfortunately, has just been battered over the last couple of years with hurricanes. And then we've had folks on barrier islands dealing with water in their homes in the Pinellas area. And so we will recover here in Florida. It's going to take efforts and time, obviously, to do the debris removal and recovery. But what's going on in North Carolina is completely different. That is on a level, while not geographically as big, that's on a level of Hurricane Katrina-like devastation.
Yeah, clearly they are desperate. I just spoke with people on the ground in North Carolina who are talking about the fact that it is a dire situation there. They're having a very difficult time getting the food and the water and the medical care and the emergency help to the people who actually need it because they're stranded on all sides. Is this administration doing enough?
Well, yeah, the administration is throwing everything at it, and that's right. Every toolbox that they have, they need to take off the shelf. You heard the president say that, right, when he talks about DOD, the Army Corps of Engineers. You have, the EPA. You have everybody coming in, bringing in resources. You have Administrator Criswell staying on the ground. That's rare, by the way. And so that tells you that they are extremely focused on North Carolina. That is going to be a very difficult mission. As you pointed out, it's completely cut off at the moment due to how you can get into the area. Right. Obviously, being in the mountains obviously makes it also difficult. But yeah, the administration is throwing everything at it. There's a lot of private resource assets that need to come into play, dealing with AT&T and Verizon, the telecom companies coming in and reestablishing cell phone service. And so they're going to bring ice, water, power generation. They're going to set up, obviously, all sorts of mobile feeding stations. They're going to have pods out there to distribute all sorts of needed supplies. And right now, we're still in the response phase. They're still doing urban search and rescue. I am deeply worried of the death count that has continued to climb in this area. It's very possible this could be the deadliest disaster hurricane since Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah. All over social media, you are seeing frantic, panicky messages from people whose loved ones in North Carolina are missing. They haven't heard from them. But again, nobody can call because nothing works. No cell service works. Nothing works. There's no power. You were talking a moment ago about that part of Florida, the Big Bend region of Florida that's been so hard hit, 3 major hurricanes in the last 13 months. The National Weather Service is monitoring another possible storm in the Gulf of Mexico that could threaten that exact same region that Helene hit. Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah, look, Florida will be ready for it. Florida Division of Emergency Management is prepared for those sort of events. We've, in the past, trained on double impacts, either at the same time, coming across the lower peninsula and coming into the Panhandle, or having hurricanes within a couple of weeks of each other. That being said, hopefully the models hold, and it's a weak system somewhere around a tropical storm. Way too early to guess on that. We have to watch, right? Same thing with Helene, same thing with Ian. These things wobble, they move different directions. Obviously I don't want to see this go into the Big Bend. Those people up there, those are good people that don't have a lot of means, and they've just, they've not gotten a break. And so I'm hoping this doesn't go their direction. All
right. I want to get your thoughts on what's happening today in the Middle East. You're on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. There are reports today that Israeli troops are amassing along the Lebanese border. Special forces raids from the IDF are already raiding and going into Lebanon. What is your sense? I know that President Biden has been urging calm and hoping for a ceasefire. That does not look like that's about to happen. There were reports today from U.S. officials that they had convinced Israel not to launch a ground invasion. What do you think is going on?
Well, first, let me say good. I'm glad Israel is at the point now that they're no longer going to allow these threats to exist on their border. We saw what appeasement strategy looks like. It looks like what Hamas did on October 7th. There was a ceasefire in place, and then Hamas launched war. By the way, Hezbollah could have stayed out of that, but instead Hezbollah came to the aid of Hamas and launched over 9,000 rockets into Israel, killed 16 kids on a soccer field, made 50,000 people flee their home in the north of Israel. I don't want to see a regional war, and I don't want to see a full-scale invasion of Lebanon. I do think Israel is going to do limited missions to kind of push Hezbollah terrorists and militants back further into Lebanon and continue to degrade Hezbollah's capability to threaten Israel. Look, on October 7th, Israel looked like a soft target. It looked like a soft target to Iran. Last couple of weeks, it doesn't look so much like a soft target. It's important that Israel reestablishes that deterrence so that Iran realizes that that they no longer want to mess with the state of Israel.
How decimated, how damaged do you think Hezbollah is?
Well, look, obviously, there's no way to know that for sure. They've taken out the leader. They've taken out, thousands of commanders are no longer able to participate, and a lot of the leadership is gone. But they also now have to go after the weapon systems, which they've been doing, to degrade their capabilities. And Iran should pay attention, because the idea about what we're doing, what Israel is doing in Lebanon, is for Iran to realize that if they continue to have their proxies in the region try to destabilize the Middle East, not just Israel, but continue to destabilize the Middle East with the Houthis and destabilizing the Red Sea, there is a price to pay. And I think Israel is showing that. Hopefully it's a limited mission. Hopefully it's done soon. We don't want to see a regional war, but I think it is important, not just for Israel, but for the entire Middle East.
And the U.S. still stands ready to defend Israel should Hezbollah or Iran attack. We have 43,000 now American soldiers in that region.
Yeah, Iran should be careful. They should give Israel no reason to go and respond. And if you're Iran, what you're thinking here is if we do something, we go too far, we give Israel a license to take out our nuclear facilities, which there's no doubt Israel would like to do.
Would love to do that.
Yeah, continuing to kind of degrade. So there's a lot of calculation going on. If you're if you're the supreme Ayatollah sitting now in a undisclosed location in a bunker, that obviously didn't work out so well for Nasrallah.
Sure didn't. 60 feet underground, and that still didn't protect him from 80 bombs. That was quite a mission Israel launched on Friday. Stunning. Congressman Moskowitz, great to have you on the show. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.